This is probably the most enjoyable wilderness survival I've ever seen. A handsome man and a beautiful woman in the wilderness. They didn't just build luxurious shelters. They also picked a lot of wild bananas. Hot guys just need to lie in the shelter. I also eat until I'm full and caught a lot of frogs like toads. It's so nice to have a little barbecue at night. Handsome boy to repay the best young woman. A show was made from a bamboo tube. It can not only play music, but also blow fire. A woman who's never had a blowjob. I think this bamboo works really well. The location of this challenge is the Columbia Wilderness. There's plenty of rain and thick jungle. Lacheo is full of wild beasts. This is Milan. She's a 33-year-old woman of stunning beauty. She's very excited about being in high survival. She had been training in wilderness survival skills before she arrived. Beautiful young woman hand, tears spicy strip skin. Milan's husband is Steven. Steven famously participated in the 40 and 60-day hippies with Jeff before. He's also a big-time star player. To make more money, Steven taught his wife some survival skills. A $100,000 bonus for 21 days of whoring. Good heavens. Send his wife to live in the wilderness with other men. He looks thin. Turns out the meat is in the right place. Milan are confident of survival this time. Hundreds of dollars worth of cups. This time the hero is Kyle. This is a vegan. He's here to prove himself. I heard the word prove yourself and shit came out of me. I have no idea what these high people are trying to prove. Okay, you want to make money, just say so. Okay, there's no shame in making money with your body, bro. Jungle survival is the hardest part. Mosquitoes are abundant and humid, but there are so many resources. Milan is very excited to be here. Based on the fact that she's married to Steven, that gives her a survival score of 6.7. And Kyle is just an amateur, catching fish and shrimp since childhood. I also learned some outdoor skills at home, so his rating is only 7.1. The two were very happy after meeting, but there was no pairing, just shook hands and parted. The two had some brief understanding, all bragging about how awesome they are. Nobody knows them anyway. I gave my identity on the road. The status is as high as the skin is thick. Kyle brought a machete. It's a very useful tool. And Milan brought fishing tools. Steven did pass on his experience to her. It is best for players with no hunting skills to choose fishing tools directly, because fishing is the easiest way to get food, except for their belongings, and a firearm and a pot provided by the show. They need to hike 5 kilometers to reach the water source. This is a very long distance, especially walking in the jungle. 5K can really break a leg. Once the route is set, the two men set out. It's a very complicated environment in the jungle, barely able to find a way around. It's all up and down, 5 kilometers straight line. It might take a dozen miles to get there. I can't imagine how many mosquitoes there are at night. You can't walk without getting bitten. There was thunder in the sky. They don't have much time. They need to find a place to set up shelter as soon as possible. When they arrive at their destination, found the water source on the map. I didn't realize it was just a puddle. I feel like I'm being ripped off by the show crew. Milan are very angry about this. But what choice is there? We have to find a place to build shelter. This location is better. Milan plans to build a shelter in this tree, and Kyle wants to build a sloping shelter. Milan is going to cook and drink, and Kyle chose the shelter. The two men divided their work together. When Kyle was collecting vines, things fall into your eyes. His eyes were pricked red. Luckily, it's nothing serious, you know? Milan is in charge of the fire and the water. Building a fire is a skill without skill. If you have a fire stick, all you need to do is collect some dry tinder, scrape off the magnesium rod, and then we hit the spark. It's raining fast now. Milan know they don't have much time. Kyle built a ramp. He tied the branches with vines. Even if Milano gets a shot, but I couldn't get it to burn. A night without fire is very terrible. Don't have much time now. They spread palm fronds on shelter roofs. We'll have to do that tomorrow. Milan don't know how to get through tonight. At night, they just sat there in the shelter. I dare not sleep without a fire. They also heard animal footsteps. Kyle shouted and tried to scare the unidentified animal away. I'm scared to death. Anyway, Milan used a fire rod to produce constant sparks. This leopard was just wandering around the neighborhood. When you meet people for the first time, you're bound to be interested. They used fire sticks to try to start a fire. It worked, with the fire. Finally scared the leopard away. Time to the next day. Kyle's eyes began to swell. Now he can only lie down in the shelter. Milan was in charge of collecting firewood. They haven't had any water all day. The first task now is to boil water and drink. Their shelter is very good. Kyle's eyes kept burning. In fact, this condition can only be relieved with eye drops. Why didn't they just call the medical team to take care of it? Open your eyes constantly in tears. I've been there before. Unless you wash your eyes with clean water. They finally finished boiling a pot of water. Milan is very thirsty. I feel like a raisin. She couldn't wait to try her first sip of boiling water. Suddenly, I felt myself begin to absorb water and expand. Time came to the third day. Kyle's eyes still hurt. It feels like there's something in there. My eyes are getting puffy. Milano called the doctor to check it out. It should have been dealt with a long time ago. It's not good to hurt your eyes. The eyes are the windows of man. You can see a lot of money through the window. The doctor cleaned the mess out of his eyes. Milan are very worried about their teammates' condition. She wants her teammates to be okay. The doctor cleaned him up and left. Time came to the 4th day. Kyle's eyes no longer tingle. He's back at work now. No discomfort now. Kyle volunteered to collect firewood. Milan suggested we go fishing. A good protein supplement may help your eyes recover faster. That's a really good idea. It's better than the old days when high people starved to death and had to find food. They came to the stream. There are many small fish in the water. The little hook I brought in finally worked. We're not sure if we'll catch any fish, but we have to try. Fishing needs bait. Kyle looks for bait. Lots of ants around. They use ants as bait. Then we wait for the fish to bite. Milan is fishing. Kyle hasn't been idle either. He was exploring nearby. Found a little lizard. He was gone before he could get near the lizard. He said the lizard was big. One of these will fill you up. I want to blow his other eye out too. There's been no fish in Milan. The fish here are much smaller than she expected. The hook won't do any good here. Why not try catching fish with a backpack? At night, the sky thundered. They don't have any protection against the rain. A small shelter alone is certainly useless. The fire has no protection. They had to cover it with banana leaves. I hope it doesn't get put out by the rain. At night, they curled up together to sleep. Time came to the 5th day. The rain stopped at last. The fire is still burning. They boiled water after they got up. How does Milan plan to improve the shelter? The most important thing is to add fire protection. After the two have made a plan, I started cutting down materials and building. There are many plantain trees nearby. Its leaves can be used to make rain shelters. On top of the original shelter, expand one more shed. This not only increases the area covered by rain and protected the fire, it was perfect in a day. Time came to the 6th day. The frog's eyes are popping out after 6 days of starvation. Today they continue to improve the shelter, trying to build a bed off the ground. Cut the branches in the ground. As long as there are enough of them, you create a solid bed frame. A platform is formed by laying sticks on it. It would have been a bed with some hay. They built it very quickly. If you had Wild Alone, the Australian version of those high guys, this project should last at least a month. They felt very comfortable lying on it. Under the bed, there's a wood burning at night. It began to rain again in the evening. Fortunately, they had shelter from the rain. As long as the rain isn't too heavy, their shelter can withstand it. The fire was unaffected. The time came to the 7th day. It's a great day to dry Lachiao. Milan decided to go out and explore the neighborhood, and Kyle collapsed in the shelter. Forget the level of appearance. Milan is a very responsible man. She's not like all the other wackos who just mess up. Milan will go out and find food when he is hungry. She found banana trees here. There are a lot of ripe bananas on it. Milan picked the bananas back. Kyle's gonna be so happy when he finds out. She took the picked bananas back to the shelter. What would Kyle think? That's one hell of a bitch right there. Milan couldn't wait to take a bite. Today's banana is the first meal they've had in 7 days. Kyle is very grateful to Milan. The other vases will just be broken for dinner. And he's got a vase that grows bananas for you to taste. They picked enough bananas to feed them for 2 days. To keep the bananas from spoiling, they picked up the bananas and buried them in the ground. Milan on a full stomach. I feel empowered. I could have squeezed 2 Kels dry. Now they have plenty to eat and drink. You can have a good rest for 2 days. It's not raining tonight. Now there's a fire and a bed and a shelter. This is supposed to be the best night ever. The time came to the 9th day. They may have bananas to eat, but they don't choose to lie flat. I went on to find other food. Today they plan to hunt frogs. They can't sleep at night because the frogs make so much noise. The 2 men took their weapons and went out. Looks like we're gonna kill the whole frog family. When they came to the stream, sure enough, I saw a lot of frogs that looked like toads. But none of that matters. Whether it's a relative of the frog or friends, they all need to be arrested. Kyle's like a buffet. Catch one after another. Milan are better. Grab a big one in each hand. Today they had a great harvest. I think I caught a 6-pound frog. He went back and said he wanted a big dinner. At night, sure enough, they had a roast dinner. Roast the frog legs on a stick. The meat smells delicious. Milan can't stop eating. If it were me, I'm the one who won't say anything. I'd rather eat abalone and lobster than these toads. But for someone who's been starving all week, the meat tastes delicious. In 30 minutes, they haven't finished their midnight snack yet. Kyle asked Milan if she felt a tingle in her mouth. Milan is strange too. I'm not cooking a spicy barbecue. Why is your mouth so numb? This is really the next door king's sprinkled peppercorns. Numb the next door. The toads are poisoned. The 2 were not impressed. Just pay attention to each other's temperature when you sleep at night. It was a little after 9 p.m. They called the paramedics. Said he ate the original frog and now his mouth is numb. These high people are killing me. They're all poisoned and they don't know what's going on. The doctor came and examined their mouths. In fact, this skin bulge is the thing with toads. They secrete digoxin toxin. This can cause symptoms of dizziness, nausea, and numbness. But it doesn't kill you, so it doesn't have to be too present. Again, just pay attention to each other's temperature when you sleep at night. The time came to the 10th day. Toads are disgusting enough not to poison them. This morning they were feeling exhausted. Although toads are delicious, But Toad is deadly. They dare not eat Toad anymore. Good thing they just ate Toad's thighs. If you eat any more, you may experience violent vomiting. They need to drink more hot water to relieve their symptoms. It's better to get the venom out. Do nothing and rest today. Time came to the 11th day. The day is half over. They still don't feel good today. Milan feels like his intestines are being squeezed. After a day of rest, they still feel extremely tired. Kyle doesn't know if it's hunger or because of the poison from the Toad. He decided to go out and look for some food by himself. I don't know if I feel tired after eating. Kyle sees a lot of bamboo here. Bamboo can be used to make many tools. Practicality is very high. He cut down some bamboo. Too tired. Back to the shelter to lie down. Time passed very quickly. Their health began to improve gradually. Kyle cut down a bamboo tube. The two ends of the bamboo tube are closed and the middle space is large, perfect for making containers for water. They poured the boiled water into bamboo tubes. Drink whenever you feel like it. It's been 4 days. Their symptoms haven't completely gone away. Stomach irritation and diarrhea. Milan is practically useless. Kyle was the only one who kept working. As a man, he had to do it. Time passed very quickly. 2 weeks to go home. I hope you don't die in here. A roast Toad put me in bed for a week. Tak has eaten Toad before. Why is he okay? They are now drinking water every day to satisfy their hunger. Keep yourself hydrated. Time came to day 17. Milan is still in bed. I don't think she's used to lying down. On the 18th day, Milan says you can't just let your body go out there. Kyle was stunned when he heard that. What Milan means by that is that he wants to eat. Her grandmother is a dog with legs. I haven't seen you say that before. Now it's almost over, and all of a sudden get motivated. Kyle wanted to lie down until it was over.
Milan is di men.
Oh, that was so funny to my grandma. But here's what Kyle can do. Make Milan drink plenty of hot water every day. Hot water is good enough to drink now. In Kyle's state, it's perfectly fine to make it to day 21, but it's hard to say about Milan. In fact, what they need most right now is food. The time came to day 19. It's over in 2 days. I can't believe this bitch is up. First thing I do is bathe by the stream. The stream is cold. It had a certain uplifting effect on her. On the 20th night, Kyle was too excited to sleep. Tomorrow is the day to evacuate. They don't want to sleep at all. You know what you're gonna do with $100,000. Time came to day 21. Today is evacuation day. Pack the kettle before you leave. They looked at the map for directions. Confirm the exit route. Then he grabbed his belongings and set off. The jungle road is very difficult. The evacuation route is not far, but they walked very slowly through the jungle. It's not here for 2 hours. Good thing they brought a reserve of water. The two were trekking through the jungle. It's a very hungry state. It's a couple of hours walk. Wear them out. But for the $100,000 reward. What is this difficulty? At last they reached the evacuation point. Milan and Kyle succeed in the challenge. What other players will come here next? Look forward to an update in the next video.